Ladies and gentlemen, boys, kids, welcome from Roberto. Today I'm gonna test the Canon RF 85mm f1.2L in combination with the Canon EOS R, and we're gonna take some wonderful portrait pictures here of Celine and her ponies. Yeah! This lens is huge. Damn, it's so big that you can barely hold it with one hand if you're not Hulk. I thought that Canon would do something smaller compared to the EF version instead of making it twice as big. It weighs almost 1,200 grams, which is similar to 42.3 ounces. It is super hard to keep it in one hand without dropping it. At the moment you can only use it on the Canon EOS R and EOS RP. Hopefully Canon will release a high megapixel camera soon or later, because the competition never sleeps. Get an 82mm filter to protect the front element. The widest aperture is at f1.2 and the smallest one at f16. The outer ring can be set to change the ISO, aperture or shutter speed. In my point of view, it needs to be closer to the camera body instead of its current position, where it's hard to reach. Don't think about getting the EF version if you can't afford the RF version. It was full of chromatic aberrations, so as the EF 50mm 1.2 version. This lens is free of this nasty stuff. Well done, Canon! Almost no chromatic aberrations, but a lot of vignetting. It's like if you were looking through a bullseye. At f1.2 you need to use Adobe Lightroom. If you stop down to approximately f4 it will look much better. There is no automatic correction available in the EOS menu at the moment, so let's wait for it. I know this lens can't be perfect. With more than 2,500 bucks you still see quite a bit of flaring, holding the lens in a direct angle into a light source. Let's speak about sharpness. I was really lucky to test all RF lenses which are available at the moment. None of them had any issues with sharpness. With the precise autofocus system you can set the AF point using your finger and the selected area will be sharp, 100%. Compared to the last EF versions, a difference like day and night. Be aware while using the eye autofocus that the other eye will be out of focus at f1.2 already. Oh my god! The bokeh of this beast is just outstanding. It's perfect for any kind of portraits and video. If you do a lot of video, it's ideal that you don't need to push the ISO too much. With other lenses you may need to use ISO 6400 while you only need to use ISO 1600 for the same shot with the 85mm. This big beast is just great for portraits, videos, interviews and studio photography. But be aware of the extra amount of space you need. You probably need to step back more to take the shot, which would have been easy to take using the 50mm version. If I would need to choose between the 50 and 85mm, I would get the 50mm version instead. What's your opinion about it?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today at the central station at Frankfurt with Creta, wie sagt man? Great, with great. Take some photos with the Canon RF 85mm f1.2L lens and let's see how this lens performs for portrait pictures. If you want to check out great, then make sure to stalk her Instagram profile and her Tinder profile.
Oh no, I can't help!
The central station in Frankfurt is not a place to be nowadays, since some people thought it would be a great idea to push others on the tracks. I hope we will find other planets for those ones. Let's speak about why we went here. Great was so kind to help me out as my model for today. If space doesn't matter, the 85mm will fulfill its job. If you want to take undercover photos or street life, get another lens. Everyone is just staring at you with such a big lens, and most of the time you're way too close to your subject. My recommendation for event photography would still be the RF 50mm version, if you plan on doing event photography.
Hey Greta, was geht?
that is...
Dieser Hintergrund ist auch so schön. Warte, ich zeig euch mal, wie braun ich aussehe. Ah ne, jetzt habe ich ja den Filter gar nicht. Now I don't have the filter.
I mean, if all the mentioned aspects don't really matter, it's a great lens for taking portraits. It's sharp from edge to edge and exactly on the spot. And like I said, if you make use of the eye autofocus, make sure that your model is looking straight into the camera. Otherwise, the camera will focus on one eye and the other eye will be out of focus already at f1.2. However, great results, especially under natural light. The background will be gone and you can isolate your subjects completely. If you think now that you can take great detail shots of products for your Instagram account, there's one disappointing thing. The minimum focus distance is at 85 centimeters, which is way too far for real detail shots. Last but not least, we speak about the autofocus. It was ridiculously slow using the EF version, while the RF version is super precise. With just a fingertip on your camera screen, it will focus under 1 second, whereas the old EF version took more than 2 seconds to focus. Face tracking during video recording worked just great. And again, we're coming to an end here. Unforgettable impressions of the RF 85mm version are its size and weight. Damn, 2 points against this lens. However, what you also get is a fast working autofocus system in combination with a new Canon mirrorless camera. You really have to look for chromatic aberrations and there is no inbuilt image stabilizer. I see the point with the fast aperture for taking photos, but when it comes to video, it's a different story, especially for handheld video shots. If you can afford a lens for almost 3K because you make a lot with portrait photography, it will be a great lens for your work. I personally like the RF 50mm lens more since it has the same performance with less weight and more space in your camera bag. Make sure to give me your feedback about this lens under this video. Thanks to Great and you for watching. All the best from Frankfurt, and if you stop by, please make sure to visit GM-Foto.